special meeting. And so we'll start with roll call.
Okay. Commissioner Arasi? Here. Commissioner Hamilton? Present. Commissioner Jensen?
Here.
I note Commissioner Smith absent. Commissioner Zilich?
Present.
Vice Chair Sheard?
Here.
And then I note Chair Jenkins absent as well.
Okay. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So since we just have the one item, do we have to see if we have any public speakers on this item? That's kind of the whole point.
So we do have to call for regular public comment on non-agenda items,
Okay,
of which I will just let you know we have no cards submitted for that.
okay, thank you.
And then what you'll do, because it's a public hearing, is you need to open the public hearing.
Okay,
So
thank you.
just-
I now open the public hearing.
Perfect, thank you.
And are there any speaker cards on that item? Do we take that now or wait till it's
So
introduced?
typically, we hear the item first from
Okay.
staff, but also, just to let you know, I have not received speaker cards so
Okay.
far. All right, Wes, you're up.
Alrighty. As you know, the Ad hoc Citizens Advisory Committee on Streamlining finished its recommended code changes several months ago. The committee's goal is to modernize some of the city codes to make it easier for small businesses and other businesses to get permits of certain types. Before you today is a request for the Planning Commission to approve the proposed changes and forward them to the City Council for action. There are 10 items in front of you. I won't go into them in detail, but they have to do with tattooing, short-term rentals, pet stores, animal grooming, florists, alfresco dining and restaurants, solar permits, smoke shops, child and daycare, and libraries and museums. If anybody has any questions or wants to talk about any of those, feel free. At the recommendation of the city attorney, item 1 on page 6, which is entitled Entrepreneur-Friendly Fees, would be deleted and not included in this requested action tonight. My understanding is that we will put those incorporate them into the process of the annual master fee update that is also starting right now. So we'll make sure to get those included in that. That does not typically go to the Planning Commission for review. It goes directly to the City Council. So that is for information.
So will those fees be what we proposed, what the Business Advocacy Committee proposed at our last meeting? Because I think we copied basically the amounts you had here.
Yes, that is what staff will start with.
Okay.
How it ends up, we don't know for sure.
Okay.
Fees, we plan to take the fees with the regular fee schedule change that's coming up. So we do this every year. We change all of the fees, we adjust them, we add or subtract fees that staff comes up with or recommends that we change, and then we just take that to council. So those are all done at one time. So we plan to take those all at the same time.
But we don't have a category in the fees for empty buildings.
Yeah, so we'll add that in at the
You'll
time.
add a new criteria, empty
Yeah.
buildings for 6 months. I think we had a time frame. And then is it still going to be, because I know Dave had recommended having it only last for 3 years.
Yeah,
So it's the same kind of idea, it's
You're
just
on,
going
Dave.
in the fee schedule?
yeah, the fees, though, are not part of tonight's discussion. The committee's recommendations for fees would be submitted as part of that process. And then anything that's needed to be added to the fee schedule, be added. Anything needs to be adjusted. I can't speak to the specifics of what it would, I don't have that in my brain right now.
Okay,
But just, it would be part of that fee process. So the recommendations of the committee would go, thank you, through to the city council. And then it could be time limited, it could not be time limited, it could be subject to certain criteria depending on the fee or not. It depends on a number of factors. First, whether there's a public purpose achieved and how often they want to revisit that. Also, if it automatically sunsets, that's a typical approach because council doesn't like to, have to impose new fees. In perpetuity reduction in a fee would mean that council has to actually act to increase it. So typically, a time-limited approach is normal in this kind of thing for a fee holiday or reduction for a period of time. They can always revisit the continuation of that based on whether the public purpose is achieved at that point in time, right? But that's a discussion for a different day.
Okay,
Certainly, we're not ignoring that, and these are the zoning aspects of what the committee has brought forward that the planning commission is going to consider tonight.
The draft that would be starting into that process is now in front of you for information.
okay. That's what I wanted to just make sure that this draft went to the people that are working on the fee reduction.
I haven't processed the fee portions of it yet.
Okay. Okay, I'll follow up then. And that will not come to the planning commission at all, just directly to city council?
That is correct.
Okay.
So we'll make sure that anybody that's interested in monitoring that as we go is informed.
Okay, great. I just don't want it to get left out. Okay,
So staff is recommending approval, and if there's questions or discussion, it's all yours.
for items 2, are there questions on this?
There's no public, right? So it's just go straight to us?
So you would typically ask for public comment. I will let you know we did not receive any, and then you'll close the public hearing and limit it to staff and commission discussion.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
We'll close the public hearing now. It's nice to have Kayla help so much.
So I have a general question. So, on this entrepreneurial friendly fees, so
That's
the
not going.
minor use permit fee is being reduced from $3,700 to $500? Is that
No,
correct?
The fees, these are informational only. The fees will be part of the annual fee, comprehensive fee setting process. That is not before the commission tonight. That won't be before the commission. That's not a zoning issue. It's a fee issue. So those recommendations don't come here, but they're here presented to you for your information only. What we're looking at, and the public hearing is concerned with, are the zoning code changes, which are in the draft ordinance as part of your packet. And you'll see them.
But
Okay,
Glenn,
so-
you can certainly reach out to the Business Advocacy Committee about this, if you have opinions about it.
No, but I remember last time we discussed this, we talked about the transient tax and all these other taxes
Yeah.
and fees, so we're no longer doing that?
We're not doing item 1. Right,
Oh, okay, so we're not doing that tonight,
no.
but we are doing that at a future date.
No, the fees
Straight to
don't.
council.
The fees go to
Yeah.
council.
Right.
Zoning comes to planning commission.
Okay, so then we shouldn't have done it last time. We shouldn't have talked about fees last time. Is that what you're saying?
That's
We
probably,
have conversations and discussions about what you think of as fees and understand that that gets routed to council.
Okay.
you can have an opinion on it, but
okay, that's fine. Opinions.
Can I give an opinion on it?
You can give an opinion. Certainly,
Okay,
it's not
so-
agendized. Well, it is agendized for discussion, so you can, discuss, but
So the question okay, so the business owner who was here last week for her she was moving her Align Wellness Center from behind Kentucky Fried Chicken over to where Pink Cheeks used to be, right? Now, she was an existing business, right? But she had to pay another $4,000 use permit fee to move down the street to Pink Cheeks. Why is that? So we had to have another existing business pay $4,000 to
The-
run her same business where a tanning salon used to be.
The fee doesn't ride with the with the location just itself, it rides with the business. So when you're going to the whole thing with the fee is to cover all the staff time that it takes to go through a process to vet whether or not it can go there, put the conditions on there, take it to planning commission and all of the above, where, you know, it's a private entity that wants to do something. So rather than have the entire taxpayer base pay for each of those things, it's actually meant to just recover the cost of that activity. So someone that opens up something in one location and then they want to move to another location, it's a completely different thing. It's an entirely different endeavor. So if you if you move into one place and you get your occupancy inspection and you go to another place, you have to get another occupancy inspection because it's a different location treated as a separate thing. So the one thing that might come into play where there might be a difference is that in here there was a reduced fee for a person that's opening up a business for the first time. And so a use permit might cost less money than it would for someone who's doing it a second time. So someone opens up a business as a first-time business owner and they pay this reduced fee. If they move to another place, they're no longer a first-time business owner, then they would be paying the full price. Yeah?
But it's a use permit fee.
It's a use permit fee. But it's a
So-
separate
so-
location, so the use permit goes with the location. So if they had it at one location, that does not transfer to the next location.
So then that business requires a use permit, no matter where it's at?
Depending on the zoning and the type of use it is. Yeah.
That particular type of use does require a use permit. Yeah.
Okay, so every time if that business moved 2 or 3 times, they have to get a use permit every time?
Correct.
Unless we maybe have our medical zone. See, if we had a medical zone, that would be approved by right. So that would be one of the great things about the medical zone. I was thinking about that with her,
That's right,
so.
Potentially.
potentially.
Potentially. We don't have it yet. Okay.
But that's the reasoning behind the medical zone. is
Yes.
To
Make it
give
easy.
people options.
Make
Yes.
it easier for them to go into an area that makes sense.
The
Exactly.
overlay. Correct.
Overlays.
Yeah,
Right.
all right.
Okay.
It just seemed, excessive for someone who's already been here.
I know, and
As
to
a-
just-
As a business, we're trying to
Yes.
encourage it.
And the Business Advocacy Committee, that is our goal, to reduce fees. But this planning commission.
True.
Doesn't vote on that. That just will go directly to council. But this is what we are promoting, is a reduction of.
Right, but I
fees.
mean, I think that we can, research it and make a recommendation and tell them, these fees are too high.
Right, which we
can
did.
revisit it.
Yes.
Yes.
Right?
So the ad hoc committee has 2 different parts. Right now, tonight, we're only dealing with the zoning part. So the ad hoc committee still has to go in front of the council on the fee part, which is, we can discuss it, but it's kind of a moot point because the only thing we're gonna be able to decide on or even really make any real suggestions on is the zoning.
So, okay, so the ad hoc fee wasn't commissioned to look at fees.
No,
Right?
it was commissioned to look at multiple angles, all different types of angles, but the planning commission can only do zoning. So the ad hoc committee is still doing the fees,
Okay.
but it has to go to the council for the fee
Okay.
portion. That's all they're saying. So it's just two separate places the ad hoc committee has to go. That's all.
All right. Fair enough.
So, Madam Chair, turning to the ordinance itself, it starts on page 13. If people haven't reviewed that yet, I believe this is a red line copy, so you can see where the proposed changes are in the zoning. I have reviewed the staff edit. I made some changes, they made some changes and additions. I made sure that any kind of other relevant sections that might be rendered into conflict were amended to reflect what the recommendations were. An example of that is, the listing of certain businesses in the professional services category.
Yeah.
Well, they're also listed in the personal services, so we had not in the initial go-around got an edit in the professional services definition, so I added those. That kind of cleanup on all of the items. And then the largest portion had to do with, pet vendors, pet shops and so on, and how the enclosures work. That was all generated by staff, and all of these things that are in here are open for suggestion. Staff also went through and made their line item adjustments to the tables and the zoning tables so that they're consistent with what you were doing. The tables were also cleaned up for formatting, and that was done by Pat's staff. So this should be a lot clearer, a little bit easier to read. Some of them are, landscape instead of portrait setting. But that's, just kind of the way that we go. And some of the comments here for you are just, just describing what needed to be done with respect to the formatting or any decisions that were made with respect to the finalization of the text. So if you have questions at all about the red lines, I will try to answer them, or Pat or Wes will be able to, possibly Kylie as well, who has some excellent knowledge about all of this at the same time as the rest of us.
So I appreciate that item 2, because we're skipping 1. So item 2 does have the language in it that we all had discussed before for tattooing. Everything is now personal services, low impact.
Yes.
And the micropigmentation, micro tattooing. And I love the fact that you put the et cetera in there, because that also covers microblading or anything else that's associated with that.
Micro.
So I like number 2.
And just as a reminder, the city council has already weighed in on this and has concurred with this as well already.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You're talking specifically the tattoo portion, not the entire.
Correct.
Right.
Just the
That's
tattoo
The
portion.
micropigmentation portion.
So Natalie, I'm gonna have to defer to you on item 3, because that's more the short-term rentals and such, that's more
I
your
know,
forte.
I was wondering, all short-term rentals in Butte County pay transient tax now, regardless of how many rooms you have. And I guess I was confused why it says a short-term rental with more than 5 guest rooms. So I get it, shall be considered a hotel or motel. But I guess we just still need to be clear that short-term vacation rentals pay the TOT tax.
It's in
And I'm-
item, right under item 3, right there, first paragraph.
Okay,
Page 7, first paragraph at the top.
even though they're just
It
not,
says rent out rooms for
Okay.
any of them that have to do it, have to pay the tax.
okay. Cause that's a Butte County thing.
I apologize for cutting you off. I just wanted to, before you kept, I just wanted to make sure you saw it was in there, that's all.
I know, but is this just for us and the actual red line is what's in the code text?
The red line is what how the code would read with the strike-through taken out and the added text inserted. And there is only one item that I need some clarification on, because there was a sentence that was confusing to me, and I didn't really get an answer at the end of it, having to do with Tier 3 ground-mounted solar. And I'll get to that when you're ready for it.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, in the red line version, it doesn't seem clear to me on page 14 that short-term vacation rentals pay the TOT tax.
In
If
the
that's
last-
the,
Doesn't
oh,
need to say
In the
that.
it
very
doesn't
last-
need to say it?
In the very last sentence, it says a short-term rental is responsible to
Okay.
pay transient occupancy tax per.
Regardless
Oregon
of if
municipal
it
code.
has less than 5 rooms. Okay, I just want to make sure that people know when they get a short-term vacation.
Well, in the other part where it said the 5 rooms thing, it's saying that if it's over 5 rooms, by definition, it's then a hotel or a
Yes.
motel.
So it's a
but-
whole different,
But either way, short-term rentals
Okay.
pay the TOT.
okay.
And a hotel or motel triggers a use permit in our municipal code.
So a house with 5 bedrooms is gonna be considered a hotel or motel?
Correct.
If they're renting out all 5
Guest
bedrooms.
rooms separately, I would imagine.
It can be a boarding house, it can be a single-room occupancy, it can be several other types of definitions that we have in our code,
But not a
depending on its
single-family
use.
home,
Okay,
If they're not renting the rooms out.
okay, so you're talking about individually rented? Okay.
Okay, does anyone have any other discussion on that? Or then the next one is the pet.
And I like the fact that we're using the administrative permits for pet stores, because, once again, the fees are a lot less, but it also lets you have some leeway as far as saying yes or no.
It's a AP, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. You have some leeway of being able to say, okay, or at least releasing it to the public and letting them know that it's gonna be there and.
And we
so on
can
and so
put
forth.
conditions on it and all the other
Right.
things to make sure that they're safe for the pets and safe for the public and all that.
These standards for pet care shops, as a reminder, they are directly from the Chico ordinance.
Yeah, and they seem to be very thorough.
They seem good, yeah.
It's a pretty big draft there for the pet stores.
Yeah, it is. So it's a thorough.
So then I guess we're at the solar.
Well, my only thing on number 5, animal grooming would become a use permit in residential, site plan review in mixed use and by right in commercial zones. This is the one where I get fuzzy on simply because the whole purpose for me behind this, when I was really pushing for allowing animal grooming in residential, was for the 18-year-old or 16-year-old kid or 19-year-old kid who's trying to just, wash a few dogs during the day and get on his feet or do anything to make some money, like the kid that mows the lawns. Dog grooming is huge now. So I'm just gonna have to trust that the fees are gonna be low enough with the council that the use, because if the fees are low enough and they're only having to pay $50 for the use permit, then it doesn't matter if it's a use permit or not, because it costs them $50.
No, but why, but they will have to pay more. It won't be discounted. Because there's no youth discount because of the age
No,
discrimination.
but it's the first time the kid's opened his business, so he'll get what I'm saying is, if a kid's gonna open up a business like this in a residential area, it's probably his first one.
But I think we even took that out because it gets problematic to,
Okay, so a 40-year-old could open a bit, so what I'm saying is.
in an empty building.
What I'm saying is the consensus, that's when the hard part becomes when you try to split the fees away from this. Because the bottom line
Right.
is, if a 17-year-old wanted to start washing dogs in their parents' home, it's gonna cost them $3,750 some odd dollars.
Right.
Then they're not gonna get a permit, they're just gonna.
They're
Do
just
it.
gonna do it.
They're just gonna do it.
And that's what I'm trying to eliminate.
if
I'm
it's
trying to make
cost
it where they don't
prohibitive-
break the law at 16.
Right, now, does the city go out and inspect a kid who says, hey, I'm gonna, I got 3 or 4 friends who wanna have their dog groomed every 6 months, are they gonna spend that money? No, are you guys gonna go out and make sure that they have everything that a standalone business would have? Fire extinguisher, all the things that are required, do we do that? On someone who's gonna do
If it's reported by somebody else, then we might show up and ask about it.
This item didn't pass through the planning commission last time we discussed this. So this is a new planning commission meeting. So I think we could vote to make changes.
what about someone who gives piano lessons?
That would be
we-
allowed
we-
for a home business, no use
We have a
permit.
home
Yeah,
occupation.
it's a home.
Once again,
this-
animal grooming was something that a kid could do to make some extra money.
Piano lessons are the same.
I think if I recall, Commissioner Jenkins.
Yes.
Was concerned that if there's too many customers coming to a location for animal grooming in a day, our home occupation permit limits to 3 customers in a day. And I don't remember if there was any concerns about hair or wastewater or anything like that. I doubtful. We could look at this again and see if it can become a home occupation permit.
Well,
That's what the Business Advocacy Committee wanted. We wanted this to be something that did not require a use permit. We wanted it to be something that someone could do in their home.
and-
At that level of
Right.
3 customers a day. It's very
How many home
controlled.
businesses require a use permit?
Any. And it's really only meant for office type of things, like you couldn't have an industrial business at your home. You can't run like industrial sewing machines, that kind of thing. It's meant for, like something you can do in a bedroom as an office is generally what the home occupation is for. But it could be for a dog grooming business or something like that.
But, okay, so if your clientele basically come to your
It's
home-
generally, actually, Wes or Kylie, you can probably explain this better than I do. You swim those waters. Could one of you tell them a little bit more about the home occupation?
Yeah, I can talk about it. Yeah, basically what Pat said, it's just supposed to be so that you can get a business license to do your business like in a bedroom or like at an office. The typical home occupation permits that I give out are for like website designing or like doing like little Etsy shipping things. They aren't having a lot of people come to their actual place to do business. So do you have a specific question or?
No, I'm just,
In
I'm
general,
just trying to see what requires it. You know, if you're gonna, if you,
Anytime you want a business
if
license.
you work at if you're a real estate agent and you work out of your home,
Yeah.
does that require any kind of a permit?
Yeah, so if I give you a business license, there has to be a physical address associated with it. There's two options. It can be a home address or a commercial address. If you are a commercial address, you do the certificate of occupancy route. If you're a home address within the city of Oroville limits, then you have to do the home occupation route.
If you're there full, if you're occupied, if you use your business 100% from that home, right?
Yes, yeah. Well, even if you're a mobile service, and your physical business address is your home, I still have to do the home occupation because you're storing your things at
Okay,
your
so
home.
if your physical business address is your home, that's what requires either the, not a use permit, but a
Home
home
occupation.
occupancy permit.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And for the most part, I do not issue use permits for home occupations.
Right.
Okay.
And this would go on to the fact that if you had a mobile grooming service in a van, you would still have your house registered as your business address, and you would still have to have a use permit for animal grooming, even though you see no customers at your house.
Now, see, that's kind of tough,
I know.
because if you're a plumber and you have your plumbing truck at home, right? Why would you have to have a use permit? If your plumbing is obviously your plumbing is not at your home. People don't bring their toilet over to, you know what I mean?
well,
Well, you don't
they're
need-
going to the place of business.
Right,
They're
that's
not having,
contractors.
it's not a business. So in general, the idea with the home occupation is that you would have, you would not necessarily have customers coming to your house. You wouldn't have people coming in and out. And your house should look like a house. It shouldn't look like a business. And there should be
Correct.
no noise coming out of it. But if you're a plumber and you have to go to someone's house, you're going to someone else's location. So you could have your plumbing operation in your house as your office, but you can't have a whole thing you can't have a whole setup. Well, you probably could have a shed in the back to hold your things. You could have your truck. But you wouldn't have people coming to your house to do
Right.
plumbing for their house.
Right.
Right? So generally, the ideal home occupation would be an accountant or maybe a real estate agent or people where you generally go out. You could have someone come in once in a while to sit in your room and to do tax accounting and all that stuff, but it shouldn't be people coming and going.
No, okay, so then that just requires a home business license, or a business license, right? It doesn't require a use permit for that kind of stuff.
A suggestion might be to make animal grooming in residential districts a home occupation in the home occupation category. But if the number of customers exceeded 3 per day, then it would trigger the use permit
Yeah,
process.
I think that's,
I think
yeah,
that's great.
that's fine, because I'm only thinking about a kid doing 1 or 2 dogs a day at the very most.
Doesn't even have to be a kid. Could be a.
So we will change,
Get it hard.
we will
Yeah,
change the
exactly.
table on page 34 accordingly and move on with that.
Sorry to be such a stickler on that.
I'm sorry, move forward at the commission's.
Moving forward, we're moving
discretion.
forward.
Okay, so it's going to be, those would be all Ps, or no?
Ps with the note on the right column that
Okay.
has use-specific regulations that refer to
Okay,
exceeding, or a
Could be
note
the
at the
S more
bottom.
than anything, yeah.
And another criteria for home occupation is that you cannot exceed a half-ton pickup in your
Oh.
yard as well. So that's another requirement for the home occupation category.
okay. Okay. So no more discussion on that.
I think we're good.
So now, are we ready to go to solar?
Are you good with everything on the florist garden shops and all that? Because I was good with it all, I just want to make sure.
Yeah,
Because they're adding the garden supply, taking it separately.
mm-hmm.
What y'all wanted, right?
Yes, that's
Yes.
what we want. If you've been to High Hands, yeah.
And then the alfresco dining looked great because that
Yep.
allows people to put a little dining area outside of their office building or something, and just allows for more expansion later. And, yeah, I think then it would come the solar.
So the confusion on page 18, I believe, on the wording.
It is, yeah, there's just a sentence in there that,
Yeah, so let
I
me,
think it's just a text adjustment.
let me explain the intent, and then we'll see if there's a different wording that would be better. If you look on page 17 of your packet, there's a table there that talks about which type of solar installation, whether it's simply for home use or for industrial purposes. It differentiates between residential zones and other districts. So note C on page 18 is tempting to say that it's a circumstance that we encountered during the recent 100-acre solar approval process, where it is a solar installation, and the code right now says that you cannot exceed 20% lot coverage. We, as the Planning Commission, authorized to exceed that because it did not make sense. So my interpretation is that 20% lot coverage is there in the code under the assumption that there's a primary use on the site, so that the solar would be an addition to that on the site. If no primary use, then the lot coverage limitation would be gone.
Applicable for
Makes
the
sense.
zone.
The applicable zone refers to the fact that Tier 3 solar is allowed in manufacturing zones and in heavy commercial zones, which is the case for 100-acre solar. So that was what the coverage for the applicable zone means at the end. So if we need to tweak that, we can certainly do that and find some better wording.
So it's meaning to say if no other or non-solar on-site uses. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
if there is no other use.
Okay,
I don't
That's
know,
good.
if there is no other use on the lot,
Or no other structures.
The issue is if there's no on-site use of the solar, the power, then the question then becomes, what's the maximum you can have on the parcel in that scenario, right?
of just
And-
empty land.
80%, or is that what you mean, is that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know
Yeah,
what the
no,
number
yeah.
is, right? That's
Well,
up to
it's-
you, but
it's-
I wanted to make sure that, we kind of dialed that in, because it was a little bit clearer, yeah.
I mean, what's the rationale for having a maximum coverage?
Generate more energy.
Well, I think 20% on a lot
Well,
that has
max-
nothing else on it is very little, right? So
Well-
I was thinking,
Well, solar panels get hot, and then you get a little light breeze that comes up, and the light breeze goes through a solar field. The other side is gonna feel significantly hotter. So if you have a business or something on one side of a solar field, the wind's always blowing one direction, they build that solar field, that business is gonna get impacted on the other side with the heat from the solar panels. I'm just saying, I've worked around a lot of solar panels, they get pretty hot,
that makes sense.
yeah.
the lot coverage maximums is 0.4, is 40% FAR in our industrial and our commercial zones. So the solar that was approved exceeds that as well.
Yeah.
Really?
How much is that solar that we approved, like, how big was the lot coverage?
About 100%.
No, it wasn't, it was,
90%, they have to have roads.
I think it came out to be 38% or something like that. With all of the
40 might
spacing
be-
in between and the side
Access to the
setbacks and
panels
everything
and all
else,
that.
yeah.
Natural
Really?
waterways and all that,
It's just
yeah.
measuring the area of the area of the panels versus the area of the
Right,
entire lot,
the whole
right?
array.
Correct,
Right.
correct, yeah.
So-
Is there an exception for, like I know the county offices and some of those new apartments, a lot of the solar panels are on the carports. Does that have the same FAR?
Yeah.
Should.
As
Still
as
tier
is
three.
considered
the
ground
carport.
mount?
That's tier one.
That's tier one?
That's allowable. And Yeah, I mean, it has the same FAR. If you wanted to do ground mount as part of that, then we'd have to look at that and look at the setbacks and all of that. But if it's on the roof, there's no
Okay,
concerns.
so, okay.
So on the roof, there's none, but if it's on the covered parking lots, those become tier 3.
It becomes what?
It's tier 3 on any parking coverage.
Oh.
On buildings, so if you look at page 17 in red on item B3, it says in red, solar systems that cover parking lots are tier 3. So the building solar would be under tier 1, but the stuff covering the parking still tier 3. But still, I mean, I would think you're still fine with the percentage of 30%. I don't see how you're gonna go over 30% just with the parking covers on a,
No.
I mean,
Yeah. And to John's point, they said that solar panels can get up to 160 degrees during the summer.
oh, you have, yeah, you looked it up, yeah.
Like, wow, it's.
Yeah, no, they do. They get hot. They're little ovens, and you get enough of them, they make a difference.
Yeah. Sense.
Might want to put a bakery next door. So, if no other on-site uses, the maximum coverage is for the applicable zone.
Yeah, I think that is the better way to go. Go with the applicable zone.
Does that clear it up?
I think it clears it
You
up.
had you were concerned about the wording. Is it clear?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would say the maximum coverage aligns with that allowed in that type of zone. In that, or in that applicable zone. Right, you have to be clear.
And if
that-
there's no other on-site use?
You're talking about the maximum lot coverage of a building then, or because I don't know what
Maximum
we're
lot
talking about.
coverage of whatever the ground mounted solar energy system is.
Yeah, it could be a 5-acre lot with a 1-acre
Separate from the building.
Yeah, this is ground mounted, right?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
building is in tier 1, right? So the question here is, how much of that lot are you gonna let to be covered, if the power's not used there, how much of the lot are you gonna allow to be covered by these ground mounted solar that are tier 3, when there isn't any other on-site use?
Depends if we
So
can
what-
see it.
So what does it
They're ugly.
mean when we say that it's dictated by the lot coverage of the applicable zone?
The applicable zone has a development standard with maximum lot coverage
Is it a
Industrial.
combined
Of a-
FAR?
of-
Elsewhere in
of
the
a- Of a
codes.
building?
of a building typically.
That's what I was
yes.
asking, okay.
Yes.
So it'd be treated like that.
It'd be treated like a building, okay.
So that should keep it on the smaller side. Hopefully.
No,
Well, it depends on the zone.
Not necessarily.
I mean, if it's industrial zone, what's our maximum?
I think it's,
Coverage on
I
it?
think it's 0.4,
So 40%.
40% FAR. And of course, that allows for multiple stories, but we don't want to get into that, so.
And these
Yeah.
aren't allowed in other zones, right? Than industrial or?
Tier 3s, I believe we kept them to heavy commercial and industrial.
Anything that's not a residential district, they're not allowed in residential districts.
Or mixed use, yeah.
Yeah, you can have a ground mount in residential, but it basically has to power
Something
the
that's-
building that's there.
Correct.
The power can't be sent off.
Right.
So it's not like a solar farm.
Dumb question, is a commercial or industrial use required to do any solar, like residential is required?
What
was the question?
Residential development is required to have solar now according to state codes. Are commercial and industrial properties also required to have solar? I don't
think
know the
so.
answer to that
I
question.
don't believe
No,
they
I-
are.
I don't think so yet.
Yeah.
It's coming.
It's
They've
coming.
talked about it.
And
So-
they have to have battery ready. It's coming.
So, so that might be something that's gonna have to be looked at again, if it's becomes mandatory on a commercial or industrial type building, depending on how much they need to meet their minimum power requirements.
I don't think they're ever gonna require them to get 40% of their, they'll probably require 10%. But, yeah.
Probably
I get
limited,
what you're saying.
very limited to the roofs and a carport or something.
And when we're saying commercial zones, we're not talking about the mixed-use zones, we're talking about the strict commercial zones, correct?
C1, C2.
Got it. Just making sure that.
Is that what it says in the table?
Yeah, it should. Let me go back and look again.
Yeah, so where is that table?
It's in the, one
It's
of
in
the.
it's the very
one of
last end of the
yeah,
table.
Lots of rubric. Back there. Okay.
Yeah, tier 3 is not allowed at all in residential. Tier 2 is an administrative permit for R3, R4, and RP.
And use permit in industrial for tier 3.
Correct, because they still have to apply and we have to
Yeah.
make sure that it fits,
Yes.
just like the last one.
Yeah.
So page 29 is for mixed-use zones, and the table does say that solar energy systems, Tier 3, are allowed in mixed-use zones with a use permit. If you'd like to change that, we can.
Well, that, I was thinking,
That's a tough one.
but right here,
Because-
okay, is it right behind us? The parking structure? That has solar on it, and it does fit in beautifully. It's not huge. And of
And that's-
course, it's not really tier 3 because they're not shipping it off.
No, it's also zoned MXD as well.
Right. Well, that's what this is, right? MX?
Yeah.
Right, but the reason we left it in there, because any solar system on a parking structure is considered tier 3.
Oh, okay.
It says it right in there that
So
tier
it
3 is.
could be in mixed use, it would just need a use permit.
It has to, they need a
Yeah.
use permit in order to make sure that it's going on a parking structure.
Yeah.
Because we don't want
Right.
somebody to just put it on the
A
ground
ground
and cover
mount.
the ground with it.
Got it.
That's the reason for having the use permit, is so that staff can be like, no.
You can
Put a
hide the
parking
solar
structure in, you
panels.
can have it.
Yeah,
Can they just be part of the code instead of having to get a
As
use
long as we
permit for
have
it?
review, we're
It's in
good
there.
then.
yeah,
With a use permit?
yes.
With a use permit,
For
yes.
mixed use.
So if they put a parking structure in,
Yeah.
they can
Like
have it.
across the street, they could do that. They could put solar all on top if
Right.
they wanted.
With a use permit?
Right.
Yes.
Tier 3 is, the intent is to sell the power,
Okay,
not to use it
Oh.
on site.
all right, so there'd be a delineation between,
They're
if you're gonna
large.
sell it, you gotta pay a use permit or whatever. But if
Correct.
you're gonna use it for your own, for that specific site,
And that's either a permitted or administrative permit.
okay, perfect.
Okay.
Did we beat that one up enough for you?
Okay.
Thought it was just gonna be a couple words.
It
The
was.
lawyer's happy, I'm happy.
Is there anything else?
I mean, I have no comments or anything else.
Okay.
so-
Call for motion.
I think it's good.
Call for motion.
Okay. Do we have a motion? No more discussion?
I will make a motion to approve items number 2, or actually, how do I do that? Minus 1, right? So item number 1, minus item number 1.
Yes.
So items number 2 through.
But what did we do with animal grooming?
We fixed it.
Okay, so we have to put that change in
Yes.
our motion.
Okay. So I will make a motion to approve as agendized item number 1, as discussed, removing the entrepreneur-friendly fees and transferring that to the
City Council.
city council. So items number 2, starting with tattoo, all the way through item number 13, as discussed in here for approval,
With the changes for animal grooming.
as discussed in here. That's why I
Okay,
put that
that's why you put
we
as discussed in here.
Yes.
Is that clear?
Yes. Of note, on page 54, there's also a resolution, P 2025-27, which would formalize your recommendation and move it, forward it to the city council for action.
So is that what I should be approving? Or should I?
Please include that in your motion. And
Okay, then I will also include the resolution P 2025-27.
I'll second.
Discussion, any further final comments?
Because this is our last moment.
It's your last moment. After this, it's.
On solar?
It's all come down to this.
On this would go to city council exactly as John said, the motion would
Did we
be.
talk about
Subject to
drive-throughs?
the little text changes in the table.
Yes.
Meetings.
We did? So nothing has to be, okay.
Just all the changes that we
As is.
discussed.
Huh?
Just as is. That incorporates planning commission's previous direction.
Oh, okay. Didn't change.
Well, I threw it out there as a motion.
And I did get
I
a
heard a
second.
second.
You did
I
get
got
a second?
I don't have the names on the roll call, so what I will do is just verbally take a roll call, if that works. Commissioner Zilich? You can say,
Aye.
perfect. Commissioner Denson?
Yes.
Commissioner Hamilton?
Aye.
Commissioner Rossi?
Aye.
Chair Sheard?
Yes.
Thank you.
We did it. Okay, and then I just have to make sure the reduced fees go to city council.
First, you have to close out the meeting. so
Okay,
we can all
thank you,
leave.
John.
I
Do we have any,
have a quick report.
yes, we have some staff.
We have coming to the council, or sorry, the planning commission, coming up, we're going to do two zone changes in the downtown. So one of them is we found, and I may have mentioned this at a previous meeting, but we found that there's a couple of buildings that have a PQ designation where it should not. They don't make sense, so we're going to, I've spoken with both owners. They both would like us to change it, so this is a staff initiative, so we're not charging them anything. It's just to clean up something that never should have been in the first place. So that will come back to Planning Commission in April. We can't do that this month, we decided, right, because of we can't notice it in time to get it on the Planning Commission for this month, so it'll come in April. And then we have another one that we're looking at, changing some zoning for,
Pat, we have given Kayla that notice to be published already, so it can go in March.
oh, great. Okay, so we're all set. And then we already had, this is already prepped. We could have brought it tonight, but we hadn't noticed it in time, so this will be coming in March. And then we have another one that's coming to potentially do another cleanup in the downtown, and so that one will most likely not come until April. Yeah.
What's the other cleanup?
Well, there are some commercial locations that had been rezoned to MXD that are in the downtown. And the owners are confused by that, and they feel like it may have reduced the value of their property by not being a C2 anymore, but being an MXD zoning. So we're still exploring this, but it's likely that we'll bring that back to the Planning Commission for discussion or for an action in April. So,
That's a tough one.
Okay. We'll see what they say.
And then I just wanted to not remind you about Form 700s because you all have turned them in, so thank you so much for getting that done. Also, in addition to the Historic Preservation Award and the Your Voice in the Arts Award, the Sam Norris Award is actually now open for nominations, and that will also be presented at the State of the City. So if you know anybody who's done an exemplary job for our community, feel free to nominate them, and we will present that at the State of the City.
And when is the historic awards
Due.
due?
Might be the end of March.
Yes, I believe it's March 27th. I will double check and send an email out to you tomorrow, but I do believe the flyer said March 27th, end of day.
And we get an application from Wes?
You can get them online, or you can
Okay.
get them up here at the front lobby as well.
Okay,
Or I can email you if you'd like.
okay.
So,
Please?
Any of those, yep,
Yeah.
sure.
Email
You
us,
bet.
yeah, email us the applications, that'll remind us
Okay,
to get
you
one.
bet.
Appreciate that.
That
Thank
would be
you.
great. Okay, anything else? We can adjourn then. We can adjourn the meeting and we'll meet again on the 26th. I'll hit this.